Good morning. It's 14 December 2015, and an Alaskan state judge files a $279 trillion lien against the U.S. Treasury to return our property to us, and asks for U.S. Marshals and FBI to arrest the President and Congress and reinstitute the Republic. This judge that you're looking at, Anna Marie Retzinger, and I'm sure there will be dozens of federal agents posting all kinds of garbage all over the internet saying I'm a liar, but she sent out a letter, an affidavit, which should order these people to do their job. Like they're going to do it? Ha! My guess is the girly boys in the FBI and the girly boys in the U.S. Marshals will not do their job. Now, here's the letter. In it, she says, members of both the FBI and the U.S. Marshals, you know something is wrong when an American affidavit of probable cause is backed up by reference and evidence. On June 30th, 1864, that's during the Civil War, of Congress acting as the board of directors of a private, mostly foreign-owned corporation doing business as the United States of America, notice the U and the S are not capitalized. It incorporated. Change the meaning of state to state and the United States to mean the District of Columbia Municipal Corporation, which is owned by the Queen of England, by the way. Like the 1862 change of the meaning of the word person to corporation cited our affidavit, these special coded meanings of words rendered a drastically different picture of the world around us. A personal bank account is actually a corporate bank account. The Colorado State Court is actually the Colorado District of Columbia Municipal Court, for example. Congress created the municipal citizenship known as the U.S. citizenship in 1868. Property technically, even to this day, this form of citizenship applies only to those born in the District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, and insular states, so there was no real reason to educate the general public about the topic. Now, Robert E. Lee warned about this. Jefferson Davis warned about this in the Confederacy. They said if the Union wins, they'll turn it into one giant corporation. As Congress was secretly using labor and the private property assets of the U.S. citizens as collateral backing corporate debts of the United States of America, notice big U, big S, right here, not little u, little s. There was plenty of reason to obscure this development. At the time of the Civil War, it would have been very unpopular to reveal that they were simply changing gears from private sector slave ownership to public sector slave ownership. A child picking dandelions on the sidewalk could arbitrarily be defined by Congress as criminal and enslaved for life by the renegade Congress functioning as the government of the District of Columbia and as the board of directors for the District of Columbia Municipal Corporation. But for starters, Congress simply defined U.S. citizens as debt slaves under the 14th Amendment of the Corporation Articles and Bylaws, which they deceptively named the Constitution of the United States, notice big U, big S. Remember, in 1871, we had the Organic Constitution. All those governors that didn't go along with it were killed and replaced. These are murdering freaks who took over our country. March 33, the feds declared bankruptcy and passed the Trading with Enemies Act, stating that Americans are enemies of the U.S. corporation. The United States of America as the United States Incorporated. Conference of Governors, in March of 33, they named all of us and all our property as surety standing good for the debts of their own bankrupt government services corporation during bankrupt reorganizations. By the way, we pay property taxes to rent their land. We don't own our land. We lost alloidal ownership a long time ago. In order to pull this off, however, they had to allege that we were all U.S. citizens and therefore all subjects to the plenary power, that means complete power of Congress, acting as an oligarch ruling over the District of Columbia and federal territories. Sounds like a fascist government, doesn't it? And so the fleecing of America began in earnest. They claimed we all knew about this arrangement and consented to it, because we all voluntarily gave up our gold when FDR sent his henchmen around to collect it. So they'd massed 20 or 30 federal agents on a house, search your house and steal your gold, and said, you did it. It's the New Deal. We stole your gold. The loss of a loyal title to their land and homes and the subjugation as slaves to the whims of Congress. Now, this is all illegal in accordance with the Uniform Commercial Code and international law and U.S. law. They have been merrily and secretly having us declared civilly dead as American state citizens the day we were born, and entering a false registration claiming that we are U.S. citizens instead. Think about this for a minute. Take a break. Can you be a citizen of Starbucks? No. Can you be a citizen of the United States Corporation? No. You're an American citizen and your name is written in small letters. Think about it. The bar, which is the British Authorized Registry, has esquires and pages. Kind of like the feudalism, right? They answer to the Knight of the King of England, and Prince William cannot gain the crown of England because he's not a Stuart. So $100 trillion lay sitting there in England. That's why Social Security can't be funded. So the judge asked members of the U.S. FBI and federal marshals. Now, as an affidavit from a state judge, they're required to arrest these people. But my guess is the girly boys aren't. Does this sound like something you want to involve you with enforcing on innocent people? Or does it sound like something you want to end as expeditiously as possible? Employees of the District of Columbia Municipal Corporation and the United Nations, which are successors, are being used as jackbooted thugs to throw Americans into privately owned federal correction facilities. Now, she goes on to say, the members of Congress and the various presidents of the numerous United States corporations have acted as criminals. They deserve to be recognized as such. We recently issued a $279 trillion commercial obligation lien against the American Bar Association, the International Bar Association, and the Department of Justice. All our assets, our bodies, our homes, businesses, lands, and labors have been signed over into the public charitable trust. Illegally, she added. The British monarch and the Lords of Admiralty have promoted this fraud against us. She goes on to say, we are reopening the American common law courts. We give you permission to arrest members of Congress, the President, the Secretary of the Treasury, and other politicians or appointees pretending to speak for us, so as to enslave us and bring false claims against us. She quotes some law and says, you actual employees and benefactors are being attacked and defrauded by criminals pretending to act as their elected representatives and accomplices in black robes who are serving as enforcers of this fraud and profit. The American Bar Association and the Internal Revenue Service have both been owned and operated as private foreign bill collectors and trust administrators by the Northern Trust Company. Now, this is owned by the Crown. The Northern Trust Company. Remember the Virginia charters? In violent conflict of interest. They are not professional associations, non-profits, nor units of any government. They are con artists and privateers whose licenses expired as of 1 September 2013. Now here's where it gets hot. The United States Marshal Service is enabled to act in the capacity of constitutionally sworn federal marshals, and we invoke their office and service as such. Failure to accept the public office means rejection of all authority related to us. The same may be said of the FBI. Either you do your jobs as constitutionally sworn public officers, or you act as a private mall cops in behalf of the offending corporations and under color of law when you pretend to have a public authority or function. Let me say that again. This is incredible. This is being said by a gal who's practiced law in Alaska her whole life. This is to the FBI and U.S. Marshal Services. Either you do your jobs as constitutionally sworn public officers, or you act as private mall cops in behalf of the offending corporations and under color of law when you pretend to have any public authority or function. In other words, girly boys of the FBI and U.S. Marshals, all you girly boys, get off your butt and do your job. Judge Anna Marie Resinger, Alaska State Superior Court. Thank you very much, folks. It says in the Bible, where there is evil, there are many leaders. Well, what you're seeing is you're seeing a call for the truth, and you're seeing a call for the right by people all over the country. You saw yesterday Nasara stating that somebody issued an arrest warrant for Obama. You also saw them reference a carrier that just got knocked out in the South China Sea last night. So it wasn't from 2014. And Snopes and all the rest of you Department of Defense thugs, wake up, because there's something above your head that's about to clobber you. You'll either obey the Constitution or the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Whatever is above your head is about to clobber you. There's nothing you can do about it. You either return the Constitution or face the consequences. Now, I can say this because these members of Congress, the IRS, the U.S. Marshals, the FBI, and the President have all been saved because as you have been following me, you realize on the 25th of May they found a nuke ready to go off 2 blocks from the White House because I told them where to put it. I asked them to put it there so it could be found. You also found a nuclear weapon on the 21st of September, 2 blocks from the White House. We talked about that on TV, we talked about that on YouTube, we talked about that in print. The NCIS found it. So your lives have been saved over a dozen times over the last 8 years. Actually, 16 times to be exact. But now the time has come when you have gone too far and people are legally asking for you to be arrested by the girly boys in the FBI and the U.S. Marshals. So if you're not mentally capable of doing that, U.S. Marshals and FBI, then God will provide somebody who is. And you'll find the thing about to explode 2 blocks from the White House, like I said it would be, in a couple of days, plus or minus 3 days. It will probably be found very quietly. It won't be in any papers, but you'll find it, and your lives will be saved again. But you'll know that this time it comes with a price. You must do what you've been asked to do, or there will be something much bigger coming down on you. Coming to you live, Dr. William B. Mount. I know, you'll probably reduce my hits on YouTube by 90%, and you'll prevent people from signing up. That's okay. They'll still come. They'll watch. They'll know the truth. By the way, all of this that you've seen can be backed up. Thank you very much, and good night.